ASEAN defence ministers are gathering in Malaysia for a retreat aimed at strengthening mutual trust and confidence. They will be discussing regional security, including artificial intelligence and freedom of navigation. The meeting also seeking to enhance cooperation amongst local defence industries to advance the region's defence supply chain. And from CNA's Melissa Goh joins us live from Batu Ferringhi in Malaysia. Melissa, we're seeing artificial intelligence and freedom of navigation. But at the media briefing earlier, Malaysia's defence minister mentioning that the focus this time will be on artificial intelligence, as we mentioned, and also on cyber security. How does beefing up things on that front impact regional security?
Well, indeed, one of the key focus of this ASEAN Defence Ministers meeting this year under Malaysia's chairmanship is to highlight the emergence threats, non-traditional risks posed by technology and posed by AI. Now, Malaysia Defence Minister Muhammad Khalid Nordin, speaking to the media ahead of the retreat, stressed that it's high time for the issue to be discussed collectively with its ASEAN counterparts so that they can identify the gaps and ensure there's mutual understanding regarding the use of AI that has become a common feature in the defence domain now. Because technology, he said, can be abused and AI can be misused, and it's better that ASEAN addresses security challenges seriously.
We know that AI and emerging technologies will be a common feature in our defense sectors. If left unchecked, it may also harm any country. So there is a need for us to look into this matter.
Now, apart from cybersecurity, the other emerging risks which the minister noted include biosecurity, the changing geopolitical landscape, and superpower rivalries, not to mention the trade and tech war. The role of ASEAN defense minister, he said, are evolving, and platforms like this, such as the ADMM retreat, the ADMM Plus, and the ADMM summit in November, he said, are indeed very crucial, very useful to forge mutual trust and understanding, as well as beefing up capacity, confidence building and so on to keep the region stable and safe.
Melissa, as you mentioned, superpower rivalry, that will affect what Minister Khalid says will be how ASEAN will need to beef up its maritime security, given that Malaysia, like many other parties in ASEAN, needs to walk a very fine line between two competing superpowers or big powers right now. What do we know about Malaysia's position on specifically the South China Sea?
Now, Malaysia is the country coordinator for ASEAN-China dialogue. Now, while the code of conduct with ASEAN on the South China Sea has been negotiated for the longest time, in fact, there's one right now in Jakarta this week. Malaysia Defence Minister, he couldn't stress enough the urgency and the importance that each member state, to try and keep the region from becoming a battleground, a place of superpowers contestation, he said, between US and China. Now, the last thing ASEAN needs, he said, is to see a build-up of military assets in the South China Sea. This comes as Russian Security Council Secretary is visiting Indonesia, including meeting Indonesian President and Defense Minister there. Now, he reportedly scheduled to visit Malaysia as well after Indonesia, but so far, Malaysia Defense Ministry is non-committal when the meeting will take place, adding that it won't be happening on the sidelines of this ADMM retreat here in Penang. Now, Malaysia Defence Minister insists that international rule of law is important and must be upheld at all times to ensure freedom of navigation in the South China Sea.
Our thanks. CNA's Melissa Goh reporting live from Batu Ferringhi as ASEAN defence ministers meet for their retreat in Penang.